Taurus, the energy is just screaming at me to do a reading for you, and I did just do a reading in the previous cycle. I'm now kind of going through all the zodiac signs again, and I just kept getting your name. I kept seeing cards and pulling your energy, so we're going at it again. And there's something here that's kind of funny, because as I was connecting with the energy, I heard the phrase, "Look who's back." And so for some of you, this could be about a person from your past, maybe an ex, could be a family member. It doesn't necessarily feel like the person you would think, though. And before you click away, I'm not usually the type of reader who does this, like your ex is trying to get back together with you. For some of you, this actually could be someone who almost like represents a chapter of your life, a period of your life. And when I heard that phrase and I sat with it a little bit deeper, I was like, well, maybe Taurus is reconnecting with themselves. They're the one who's coming back. They're the one who's kind of stepping back into the picture here. And what I really get here is that while there might be another person coming in your life, especially somebody from the past or someone who reminds you from somebody of the past, or you're just thinking about the past a lot, I don't want you to just think about this person. Who were you at that point in your life? Because a lot of the time, tarot readers, especially on YouTube, will tell you someone's coming back. Someone's trying to connect with you again. And I think if there is that calling, if there is that feeling, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's about that person. What were your dreams at that point in your life? What were you like? How were you feeling? Because I feel like that's really the heart of what you are connecting with here. Doesn't mean that you're not reconnecting with someone on another level as well, but that feels like the main takeaway. I did pull a couple of animal cards here. We have the firefly coming out first, and this is that kind of spark. It's quite literally finding your spark, and it is almost like that sort of flame. Now, the thing with the firefly, I will say, is that light shines really bright, and it kind of fades away. And so there could be someone in your life who kind of comes in and out. I don't think this is something where it's like a situationship where someone's like in and out very quickly. Like, this feels like there could be years apart with this person. Could be romantic, could be a friend, but it's almost like when this person comes into your life, it signals some sort of change or something that is kind of surfacing. Maybe there's some sort of inspiration or muse to sort of work with here as well. And the other card that I got was whale. And quite literally, something is coming up to surface. Something is coming up to breathe. There could be some kind of deep emotional emotional presence or something that you're kind of working through that's emerging now. And it's interesting that I'm getting like creative and romance, because we just had an eclipse in Virgo, which for you is your 5th house of creativity and romance. Could also be children as well. But it's all about passion, pleasure, creation. And there's something coming back here. I really feel that. And Mercury is also retrograde at the time of this recording, which is notorious for bringing these people and things and like kind of this introspection and reflection in our lives. But this is a timeless reading. I'm going to trust that this message reaches you for a reason, and it's reaching you at the right time. So very, very curious to see what else we have here, Taurus. I'm actually going to be pulling from the Modern Love Tarot, just because that kind of feels like the vibe here. And for those of you who want to support this channel, you are able to make a one-time or monthly donation on Ko-fi, which is linked down below. But really, I really appreciate all of the support you give this channel with your likes, shares, comments, and subscribes. It helps more than you know and allows me to continue putting these messages out for you. And that way you can always stay up to date with what's in the cards as well. And of course, you can book a reading with me on my website, and actually can now connect with me live on Hypsy. All of that is linked in the description down below. So what do we have for you, Taurus? What do we have? Interesting. The Chariot is what's coming out in the past. Some of you are connecting to this time where you felt really confident. And it's funny because this actually did show up in reverse. So it feels like some of you might feel like you've lost confidence. You're not as sure as yourself. You've been second guessing yourself. Something happened in the past, Taurus, where maybe you stopped trusting in yourself, your direction, your goals. This could also be about not trusting yourself in relationships. The Nine of Wands is coming here as well. That sort of, that almost like burnout. Just feeling over it. This is where you've been. I feel like the last relationship in your life might have broken you, and I don't really believe that, but that's just sort of the feeling, the expression that's coming to mind here. Something changed. Something changed with this situation, with something in your life, where it just hasn't been the same since. I get the sense this is about a relationship for some of you. Could be about something else, though. I'm noticing the Ten of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, something was really heavy. Something burned you out. You were carrying so much. I'm actually hearing, like, I put so much time and energy and it still didn't work. Again, could be about a relationship, could be about a project, could be about multiple things. It just feels like you put so much of yourself in something and you felt like you had nothing to show for it. What else do we have here? The Strength card. This is in the present. This is all about finding that strength, that confidence, that pride. You're becoming stronger. Let yourself be stronger. It is you who's coming back. It's you who's coming back right now. So if you're reminiscing about the past and you feel like the best is behind you, Taurus, I don't think that's true. I think you're reconnecting with some of that passion, that vigor. And you've kind of had to fight for it, if I'm being totally honest. And like, you had to fight when you had no energy. When you felt like you had nothing left to give or put forward. It's been a slow process to get here. And maybe there've been other chapters. There's been other things in your life, other people. But it's just not been the same. I'm actually curious, can we get a little clearer on what the Chariot in reverse is signifying here? Yeah, it feels like you were having a hard time moving on with the Eight of Swords in reverse. Very in your head about something. Almost paralyzed, afraid to move forward. And maybe this is subconscious, and on a conscious level you kept trying and forcing and forcing and pushing and pushing, and it's like, why is nothing happening? Why is nothing happening? But there was like a subconscious block. And it could very well be tied to your sense of worthiness. Maybe doing some therapy, some shadow work there. And just really asking yourself, why might I not feel worthy of what I want? And some of you might get defensive with this, but really allow this question, sit with it, and see what comes through. Or why might what you want not feel safe is another thing I could see as well. And this is subconscious, you guys. It's not going to be something that you can just immediately know, like categorically, like in your brain. It's something that you have to feel and experience. Some of you know what this is because you've done that work. But it feels like you need to go deeper to really understand what this blockage is about, what this sort of fear is about. And as I say that, we pull the moon. This is all about connecting to the unconscious, the hidden. There's some big emotions here. There's a lot of unknown, a lot of uncertainty, and just kind of lie back. Be present with yourself. Get yourself to the bottom of what you're feeling. Getting to bottom of things is actually something I'm hearing as well with the whale too. Something is coming up to breathe. There's something that is surfacing right now, but it's helping you feel more confident, genuinely confident. It's not like an arrogance. It's not something that you're forcing or pretending. And you need to be strong. You're strong enough to do this. You could also be feeling connected with someone you don't see eye to eye with, someone who you might have even blocked with the Two of Swords. Someone might be out of your life and you're still feeling them in your dream space or in your intuitive space. And it's like, why can't I let this person go? It's because something that they said, it's something that they made you believe about yourself. That's actually what I'm getting. Yeah, tell me about this past person. Who is this past person? Had an unhealthy relationship with work, with the King of Pentacles in reverse. We're talking working too much, distracting themselves with work, being caught up in their job, or not caring about work, not caring about anything, just sort of taking. Just some sort of unhealthy balance there. Could also be an earth sign as well. Could be another Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo. Ooh, this person really broke your heart with the Five of Cups. And I'm kind of hearing like the Kelly Clarkson song, like what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I know, but that's the energy that's really coming through here. And I mean, you have strength literally in the present of this reading. This is the energy you are in, or the energy you are stepping into, or the advice right now. Don't get in your own way. Don't try to force something that's not happening. Let something go, even if that's emotional. Because some of you have been ignoring what your intuition is telling you. You know something is ending and you don't know what else there is because you feel like the best is behind you or you missed your chance. I don't think you did with this King of Wands, though. I think you're looking pretty good. You're finding that fire. You're finding that confidence. You're letting yourself be a bit of a freak, too. And, like, you're wearing your scars as a badge of honor. I definitely see this King of Wands as, like, a trans mask or trans man person. And it's like those scars to the journey of becoming yourself, wearing those with pride. They weren't failures, they weren't shortcomings, they were just part of the journey. They were part of the learning. And it's funny, before I even sat down to record, I was in the hallway and I heard something like, don't take no personally, don't take rejection personally. And I'm just kind of remembering that now. Get used to being told no, get used to being rejected. It really doesn't have anything to do with you. If anything, it's a favor. Don't try and fight for approval with the Five of Wands and this King of Wands. Interesting that that's how I'm reading this, but that's just what comes through. It's like you're trying so hard to make something work, it's frustrating. You're not doing that anymore, or that's not what you're supposed to be doing. What does being back look like for Taurus? What does this look like for you? Knight of Wands. For some of you, this could be about travel, going on a trip, feeling just like life is a journey. Not being so caught up with the failures. And I say failures in quotations, actually. Like, they're not really failures. And I'm going to be blunt. The best things in life are risks. You had to take risks. And don't be afraid of taking those risks with the Chariot in reverse. Some of you have been so afraid to act, to get vulnerable, to get hurt. You feel like, I've already been so hurt, I can't be hurt anymore. Turn that around, though. That's a superpower. Change the structure or meaning of that sentence. I can't get hurt anymore to, I can't get hurt anymore. You're reinventing yourself. You're reinventing the story. You're rewriting it. And it's about emphasizing words or different parts of yourself in different ways to find what feels right. Confidence isn't about, like, feeling like you're perfect. It's about owning your flaws in a very radical way. And maybe you're not happy with where your life is right now, but it doesn't have to be this way. If that's the case, like, you're able to change this, you're able to manifest something, but you do just need to kind of work out some sort of, like, some heavy emotions or some emotional blockages, because you're almost making it harder. You're being really, really hard on yourself. No, it has to be this way. I have to do it this way. I have to be successful in this way. Just let yourself thrive and be. Don't put conditions around that. The Temperance card, finding that balance, finding that peace, finding that healing. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone or anything. I'm hearing you don't need to starve yourself. That's interesting. Maybe that's quite literal for some of you. You know, maybe there's something with, like, food and eating, but I actually thought of that more as, like, being an artist or starving yourself. You don't need to suffer. You don't need to make yourself suffer for something. Find that balance. Find that middle way with Temperance. I'm also going to say, too, my eye went back to this Five of Cups. Some of you might have turned to drinking or substance abuse or other kind of distractions like that. And there's a difference between refocusing and distracting. Distracting is still, like, centered around what you don't want. You're running from it. Put your energy intentionally towards something else. And I feel like that's the thing with temperance too. Like there's something about moderation. And for some of you that quite literally could be about drinking. It could be about food. It could be about, it's not about denying yourself. It's about what you feed yourself or give yourself. Any other messages for Taurus right now? Yeah, there's something coming that you're not seeing right now with the Four of Cups, and I actually feel pretty positive about this. You know, because we have this person who's feeling sort of dejected, maybe feeling like a third wheel. They don't see that there's someone behind them. There's someone kind of trying to get that courage. Interesting that there's drinking again, though. But someone is trying, something is coming in and you don't even see it yet. What is this thing we don't see yet? What is this thing we don't see yet? The Wheel of Fortune. You don't see how your whole life is about to change, how the patterns of your life are shifting. And it starts with you. You are the one constant in your life. And then for some reason, I'm feeling like this wheel is like a weaving wheel. You're weaving something. There's the pattern. That's how I refer to the universe as well. So that's interesting. You're weaving new patterns. And that just feels like another way of saying rewriting the story. But it's not just the story, because the story is continuing. It's repeating over and over again. You're rewriting a cycle. In astrology, some of you also have a grand cross in your chart. If you understand what this means, then this is all confirmation for you. And if you don't, then don't worry about it too much. I was seeing the cross with the fixed signs, and that's how I knew this was a reading for you. It was one of the symbols that came through. Anything else for Taurus? What is this Wheel of Fortune? What is this unexpected turn of events? 10 of Cups. Wow. Finding happiness could literally be about finding your person, finding community, finding love and connection, or finding a dream, realizing a dream, remembering something. You're finding your spark again. Something is making you feel connected, and you felt very disconnected in the past. And something is changing. You're letting yourself feel more connected to other people. Letting your guard down. Letting yourself be vulnerable. Because the truth is, when you wall yourself off with, which generally happens over the course of our lives, let's be real, we experience rejection, we experience disappointments, and the natural thing to do is to kind of solidify, to ossify. Interesting that that's the word that came through, but, harden. How do you soften? It is a masterful art to lose something, to not get something, and to still let yourself be vulnerable. And to fall in love knowing that it's going to end eventually, like someone's going to die, a relationship's going to end. It's part of the pattern I'm hearing again. Because as much as you want this, Taurus, as much as you've been wanting this beginning, and I do feel like this is about relationships for a lot of you, I'm just going to be honest, you've been resisting it. You've been afraid of it. You've been afraid of being vulnerable. Maybe even some self-fulfilling prophecies, if I'm being honest, being drawn to people who aren't right for you, who are familiar, especially if there's something with substance abuse as well. But you're rewriting the pattern. You're loving yourself. too. And when you love yourself, when you find yourself again, I feel like that's when you find the relationships that are right for you. That's when the right people will show up in your life. Six of Pentacles, the generous people, the kind people, reciprocity. There's like gift giving, there's an exchange going on. Oh, I'm hearing a song and I don't remember what this song is. What is this? It's almost like Frank Sinatra or something. It's like an older singer. So there could be something with music here as well. It's funny, actually, this is at a concert, the Six of Pentacles. So maybe there's music from the past, you're hearing a lot of old songs you haven't heard in a really long time. That could also be like a sign of something. Like music that had spirit, that had community. Also kind of feels like the Beatles, like something like that. So interesting. The Sun. And the Two of Cups. Beautiful. Yeah, letting yourself be seen. Ooh, the affirmation I'm getting here with the Sun. It feels good to be seen. It feels good to be seen. Let yourself be seen. The Sun and the Two of Cups, because the Two of Cups is also about that strength, that vulnerability, that joy. There's a joy and a freedom that comes from that. You don't need to be perfect to be lovable, to be worthy, to get what you want, to deserve what you want. And in fact, you don't really get to have it until you accept who you are. You won't feel worthy until you do that. And those are all the messages I have for you right now, Taurus. I hope that this was helpful. Drop a little sun emoji. Really claim this beautiful energy. Claim these messages for yourself. As always, your support that you give this channel is deeply, deeply appreciated. All of my links are in the description of this video. Make sure to hit that subscribe and bell notification so you always stay up to date with what's in the cards for you. And I will see you all in the next video. I'm sending lots of love and blessings your way. Take care, Taurus.